Okay, so AI headlines are just everywhere, right? But what's the real story happening underneath all that noise? Turns out there's this one massive shift going on that honestly changes everything. And that's what we're going to break down today.
I mean, think about it. You've got model updates, new products dropping every day, a flood of research papers. It's a lot. It is super easy to get lost in the details and miss the big picture. But if you just take a step back and zoom out, a really clear pattern starts to emerge.
And here's what it is. The big story is that AI is moving out of the lab and into the real world. It's actually getting a job. Yeah, it's not just some cool research project anymore. AI is being hired for specific professional roles in pretty much every industry you can think of.
So you might be asking, how is this even happening? Well, it all starts with the foundational models themselves. They're getting these huge upgrades, and not just general improvements. We're talking about upgrades specifically engineered to handle serious, professional-grade, high-stakes work.
And what's really fascinating here is the level of specialization we're seeing. Take a look. Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.7, it's not just a little better at coding. Nope. It's being built for seriously complex software engineering, the kind of stuff that used to need a human looking over its shoulder constantly. Then you have OpenAI's Codex update, which is all about speeding up developers' workflows right inside the apps they already live in. And GPT-Rosalind, that's aimed squarely at a massive challenge, drug discovery. So what's the big takeaway here? These models aren't generalists anymore. They're becoming specialists. And that, right there, is a fundamental shift in how AI is being built and used.
And hey, this whole specialization thing, it's not just happening in the super technical fields like coding and science. The basic capabilities are leveling up across the board. Claude's vision is getting way sharper, which makes it more creative. Google's Gemini is really leaning into creating personalized images. And you can see the market reacting to this in real time. All the big labs, Anthropic, OpenAI, Hugging Face, they're hiring like crazy. And that is a huge signal that the demand for these new, practical AI skills is absolutely exploding.
Okay, so with these more powerful models acting as the engine, we're now seeing this just explosion of new products built on top of them. The best way to think about it is like a new AI workforce is showing up. A whole suite of specialized tools that are ready to plug right into your daily job. Let's take a look.
For all the developers and engineers out there, the pace is just insane. You've got Archie, which is like a canvas for thinking with AI. Agent Lens helps you visually debug these complex agent workflows. DB Explorer is completely rethinking what a database client looks like for an AI-first world. And then there's Hacktron, which is basically your AI security engineer. You see the pattern, right? Every single one of these tools is solving a very specific, very real professional pain point. This isn't about replacing developers. It's about giving them superpowers.
And you know what? It's the exact same story over in the creative and collaborative fields. Canva AI 2.0 isn't just a tool, they're pitching it as a creative partner. Studio uses AI to do the boring, tedious work of organizing thousands of photos. And Stoa? They're building this live, multiplayer space for teams to work with AI. The theme is so consistent, isn't it? AI is becoming a specialized team member, one that boosts our own creativity and helps us work together better.
This is just a perfect illustration of how AI is going vertical. It's getting hyper-specific to industries. For example, AWS is using generative AI to solve that classic online shopping problem. Will this actually fit me? In healthcare, we've got RAD Agent, which gives doctors a step-by-step breakdown of how it's interpreting a CT scan. And in e-commerce, new tools are building conversational agents that can actually adapt on the fly. The message couldn't be clearer. AI isn't just this general horizontal tech anymore. It's becoming a vertical specialist, digging deep into the specific workflows of each and every industry.
Okay, so AI is getting way more powerful, way more specialized, and that's really exciting. But it also raises the stakes a lot. With all this new power comes this incredibly urgent, critical need to focus on how we manage it all responsibly. So let's talk about the new rules of engagement.
This shift is leading to some pretty wild new fields of research, like something called agentic microphysics. It's basically a new way of thinking about AI safety. The big idea is that we can't just look at a single AI model by itself anymore. The real risks start to show up when you have multiple AI agents interacting with each other in a system. It's kind of like shifting from thinking about single-player safety to multiplayer safety.
And this quote from their manifesto just nails it. Safety can no longer be analyzed primarily at the level of the isolated model. As these AI agents start to get memory, use tools, and interact with each other over time, our whole approach to safety has to change. The crucial point is this: the system is the new frontier for risk. And this whole conversation around safety is getting so much broader. You have researchers exposing how AI judges can be tricked by context, not just the quality of what they're supposed to be evaluating. Other studies are pointing out that, honestly, we're just at the very beginning of figuring out fairness in multi-agent systems. This is why you're hearing calls from groups like the World Economic Forum for new kinds of digital public infrastructure. And it's not all theoretical. On a really practical level, AI is already being put to work monitoring fiber optic networks to help keep our railways safe.
Okay, let's bring this all back down to earth with a real example. Remember Rad Agent, the tool for reading CT scans? This is what trust looks like in action. It doesn't just give you an answer and say, "Trust me." No way. It gives the doctor a clear, step-by-step reasoning trace. This means a human expert can look at it, check the work, and even tweak it if they need to. This is how you build confidence in these high-stakes professional tools. It's an absolutely critical piece of this whole shift from potential to practice.
All right, let's pull all this together. We've seen the models getting smarter, we've seen the tools getting way more specialized, and we've seen why the rules of engagement are more critical than ever. So, what's the big strategic takeaway here? What does all of this actually mean for you?
It really boils down to 3 huge trends you need to be watching. First up is specialization. The real value is moving away from general-purpose chatbots and toward these finely tuned, professional-grade AI assistants. Second is responsibility. Safety, transparency, ethics. These are not add-ons anymore. They're core product features that are absolutely required for people to adopt this stuff. And third, ecosystem acceleration. The sheer explosion of new tools and the crazy hiring spree, this tells you this isn't a bubble. The market is growing, and it's growing fast.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This big shift from potential to practice. It's not coming soon. It's happening right now. AI is actively getting woven into professional workflows in every single industry. So the question for all of us is no longer if our work is going to change. The real question is, how are you going to lead that change?